Water heater bonding is a crucial aspect of electrical safety within a home or building. The primary purpose of bonding is to create an equipotential plane, minimizing the risk of electrical shock. This is achieved by connecting all metallic parts of a system to a common grounding point. In the context of a water heater, this involves bonding the metallic water pipes, the metal casing of the water heater itself, and any other metallic components in close proximity. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, provides specific guidelines regarding the bonding of water heaters and related metallic components. These requirements are outlined to ensure that in the event of a fault, such as a short circuit, the electrical current will have a low impedance path back to the source, causing the circuit breaker to trip and energize the circuit. This rapid energization significantly reduces the risk of electrical shock or electrocution. The NEC Section 250.104 addresses bonding of piping systems that expose structural metal. It mandates that metal water piping systems that are likely to become energized must be bonded to the service equipment grounding electrode conductor or were supplied by a separately derived system to the grounding electrode conductor of the system. This bonding helps to ensure that the metal water piping system remains at the same electrical potential as the grounding system. The size of the bonding conductor is determined by NEC Table 250.102.C.1 and is based on the size of the service entrance conductors. It is important to consult this table to select the appropriate conductor size for the bonding jumper. In many jurisdictions, local building codes adopt and enforce the NEC. Therefore, compliance with the NEC requirements for water heater bonding is often mandatory. Failure to comply with these codes can result in failed inspections and potential safety hazards. However, it is important to note that the specific requirements may vary slightly depending on the local amendments to the NEC. Some older homes may not have been originally equipped with proper water heater bonding. In such cases, it is crucial to upgrade the electrical system to meet current code requirements. This may involve installing a new grounding electrode system, upgrading the service panel, and ensuring that all metallic components are properly bonded. One common misconception is that bonding is solely for preventing leaks. While bonding can help to mitigate corrosion caused by stray electrical currents, its primary purpose is electrical safety. Electrolysis can occur when dissimilar metals are in contact with each other in the presence of an electrolyte, such as water. This can lead to corrosion and eventual leaks in the water pipes. Bonding helps to minimize the potential difference between the metals, reducing the rate of corrosion. In some cases, a dielectric union is used to isolate dissimilar metals and prevent galvanic corrosion. This is a fitting that provides an insulated barrier between the two metals. When installing a water heater, it is essential to follow the manufacturer's instructions regarding bonding and grounding. The manufacturer may have specific recommendations based on the design of the water heater and the materials used in its construction. It is also important to ensure that the water heater is properly grounded. Grounding provides a path for fault current to flow back to the source, tripping the circuit breaker and preventing electrical shock. The grounding electrode conductor should be connected to a grounding electrode, such as a ground rod or a metal water pipe that is in direct contact with the earth for at least 10 feet. The size of the grounding electrode conductor is determined by NEC Table 250.66 and is based on the size of the service entrance conductors. When working with electrical systems, it is crucial to prioritize safety. Always turn off the power to the circuit before working on any electrical components. Use appropriate personal protective equipment, such as insulated gloves and safety glasses. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, it is best to hire a qualified electrician to perform the work. There are several reasons why someone might choose not to install the HERE bond around the water heater. Firstly, they may not be aware of what a HERE bond is or its purpose. Electrical codes can be complex, and not everyone has the knowledge or experience to understand them fully. Secondly, some people may believe that a HERE bond is not necessary, especially if they have not experienced any electrical problems in the past. They may think that the risk of electrical shock is low and that the cost and effort of installing a HERE bond are not justified. Thirdly, some people may not be required to install a HERE bond by the building codes in their area. Local codes may vary, and some jurisdictions may not have adopted the latest versions of the NEC. In these cases, a HERE bond may not be mandatory. However, even if it is not required, it is still a good idea to consider installing a HERE bond for added safety. The NEC Section 250.104 addresses bonding of metal water piping. It states that metal water piping systems that are likely to become energized shall be bonded to the service equipment enclosure, the grounded conductor at the service, the grounding electrode conductor where of sufficient size, or to one or more grounding electrodes used. The bonding jumper shall be sized in accordance with Table 250.102.c.1. The points of connection shall be accessible. Bonding can also help to protect electronic equipment from damage caused by voltage surges. Voltage surges can occur due to lightning strikes, power outages, or other electrical disturbances. These surges can damage sensitive electronic components such as computers, televisions, and appliances. Bonding helps to divert the surge current to ground, protecting the equipment from damage. Surge protective devices, or SPDs, can also be used to protect electronic equipment from voltage surges. These devices are typically installed at the service panel or at individual outlets. They work by clamping the voltage to a safe level, preventing it from reaching the equipment. It is important to choose SPD that are rated for the voltage and current of the circuit they are protecting. When installing a HERE bond, it is important to use the correct type of wire and connectors. The wire should be made of copper or aluminum and should be sized according to the NEC. The connectors should be listed for use with the type of wire being used and should be installed according to the manufacturer's instructions. It is also important to ensure that the connections are clean and tight. Loose or corroded connections can increase the resistance of the circuit, reducing its effectiveness. Regular inspections of the electrical system can help to identify potential problems before they become serious. Look for signs of damage, such as frayed wires, loose connections, or corroded components. If you find any problems, have them repaired by a qualified electrician as soon as possible. The NEC Section 250.50 covers grounding electrode systems. It requires that all grounding electrodes that are present at each building or structure served shall be bonded together to form the grounding electrode system. This bonding helps to ensure that all parts of the electrical system are at the same electrical potential. The grounding electrode system may include a metal water pipe, a ground rod, a ground ring, or a concrete encased electrode. The grounding electrode should be installed in accordance with the NEC requirements. The NEC Section 250.52 specifies the requirements for grounding electrodes. It states that the grounding electrode shall be installed such that contact between the electrode and the earth is achieved. The grounding electrode shall be free from non-conductive coatings, such as paint or plastic. The grounding electrode shall be protected from physical damage. In some cases, it may be necessary to install multiple grounding electrodes to achieve the required grounding resistance. The NEC Section 250.56 specifies the requirements for supplemental grounding electrodes. It states that if a single grounding electrode has a resistance to earth of more than 25 ohms, a supplemental grounding electrode shall be installed. The supplemental grounding electrode shall be located at least 6 feet away from the primary grounding electrode. The resistance to earth of the grounding electrode system should be tested periodically to ensure that it is within acceptable limits. A ground resistance tester can be used to measure the resistance to earth. If the resistance is too high, it may be necessary to install additional grounding electrodes or to improve the existing grounding electrodes. The NEC Section 250.64 covers grounding electrode conductor connections. It specifies the requirements for connecting the grounding electrode conductor to the grounding electrode. The connection shall be made in a manner that ensures a permanent and reliable connection. The connection shall be protected from corrosion. The connection shall be accessible for inspection and testing. The grounding electrode conductor shall be sized according to NEC Table 250.66. It is important to choose a qualified electrician who is familiar with the NEC and local building codes. A qualified electrician will be able to assess the electrical system and determine the best way to install a HERE bond and ensure that it meets all applicable requirements. They will also be able to provide advice on other electrical safety measures that can be taken to protect the home and family. When selecting an electrician, it is important to check their credentials and experience. Make sure that they are licensed and insured. Ask for references and check them carefully. Get a written estimate before any work is started. The estimate should include a detailed description of the work to be performed and the materials to be used. Be sure to ask about any hidden costs or fees. It is also a good idea to get multiple estimates from different electricians before making a decision. This will help to ensure that you are getting a fair price for the work. Water heater bonding is an important safety measure that should not be overlooked. It helps to protect against electrical shock and can also help to prevent damage to electronic equipment. If you are not sure whether your water heater is properly bonded, it is best to consult with a qualified electrician. They can assess the electrical system and make recommendations for improving its safety. Ultimately, water heater bonding contributes to the overall safety and reliability of a building's electrical system. It is an investment in safety that can provide peace of mind and protect against potential hazards. The information provided here is for general guidance only and should not be considered a substitute for professional advice. Always consult with a qualified electrician or building inspector to ensure compliance with all applicable codes and regulations. Ignoring these safety measures can have serious consequences, so prioritize safety and seek professional guidance when needed.